Welcome, Gemini, to your April reading. Happy spring equinox to all of you. And if you are in full equinox almost, then happy fall equinox. All right, so we're starting a new zodiac cycle. We're having Aries season, so that's the first sign of the zodiac. And I really sense this new energy coming in for all of us. Endings and new beginnings, okay? An ending is just a new beginning. But I'm sensing for you guys, it's like I feel like you're ending a battle, and it's more like an internal battle. I feel like it might have been taken in a little bit into your hermit mode situation. You might have actually been fighting your battles alone, um, or some battles alone, not all. But I am really sensing that you're coming out of your shell again, Gemini, this month, and you revive some of that life source energy that you guys just have. It's just, look at that, Four of Swords. Healing, healing and recharging yourself. And it's good. It's good to go through those phases, But when it comes to this month, April, with Aries energy, I'm sensing you guys are just being surprised. Like a lot of surprise elements as things show up. And if you're setting yourself into the energy of, okay, not everything has to have like a final destination. I can just try this out. I can just do this. I'm getting invited to that. I'm just gonna go. Maybe I'll have a nice time. Maybe I'll get to meet some new people. Just being open, being creative, trying out something different. Like if you were thinking about doing some art workshop or something this month, it will be very good for you guys. And anything that you can do with like one up to like 10 other people, if not a bigger group. It's like just being part of a community, a collective where it's small, but people who are like-minded and actually enlighten that's creative energy with you guys. For some of you, it's like really brainstorm session about a new product, a new business, a new something for the world. I'm sensing like it has a lot to do with the world at a grander scale, and when it comes to like future focused energy. So for example, you might want to do something for the environment, or for the people who are suffering right now, who don't have their own voice out there, and you kind of want to be the voice for them. And I think that's beautiful, Gemini. So definitely following that and being a part of a group and adding your own individuality to that sense. I'm sensing that would really be beneficial for you. You might actually find yourself wanting to look at other options, look at things in a different lightning, maybe there's a lightning strike, a light. Like for example, maybe you have been having always wanting to be a mother or be a father, having children, having your own family, but you might actually find yourself changing your mind about the way how you would like to do it, the form of it. You might actually find yourself wanting to look into adoption or fostering first. Like maybe you want to foster a child, like something like that. You might find yourself, I feel like spending time in energy of children, especially like young children who have like this, this imagine a nation and fantasy, and no boundaries, and just are very raw. And it actually is very good for your creative energy flowing, your feminine energy, regardless if you are a man or a woman or everything above and in between, doesn't matter. You have the Empress card. It shows up. Your mother feels are triggered. Not only your mother, energy, but the mother archetype within you. The moon is here as well, of course. The moon is here because she has a lot to say. Okay. This one. I'm sensing the new moon on the 1st of April. That will happen in your 11th house. And on the full moon on the 16th of April, it's in your 5th house. And it has a lot to share and a lot to say. So don't feel like you have to have all the answers this month or next month, because the eclipse season will be next month, and it will actually illuminate some more definite questions you might need answers to. So go with the flow, being open to trying different things, having an open mind. But looking at things in another way doesn't mean you kind of have to do it, but maybe look at the options, maybe look at what's out there. Like, for example, you maybe have been working for yourself for a very long time, and you might have been struggling with one side of your business, or maybe the finance or something like that, or you would like to expand it, but you would need some more savings in order to put into that, to invest. And you might have actually been working for yourself for such a long time that getting like a side job or something is like out of your thinking pattern. Basically, it's like, no, I just have to do it in this way. But maybe it's nice to get like a part-time side thing, so you can at least have your bills covered, and so you have freedom of, like, that space is no longer cluttered with the fear of not being able to pay this, or having all the pressure on that beautiful thing you're trying to build. It's not a bad thing to say, okay, you know what, I'll just do that. So I have that inner peace, I got that covered, and anything extra comes in through my business is good, and I can, either do something nice with, or I can, 50-50, I invest the rest into my business. And it's good that way, because it gives me a lot more space to be creative, a lot more space to just take my time with projects, and not feeling like I have to, deliver all the time in order to pay my bills. Like, a thinking pattern. Because if you look at that side job, not in like, but then I kind of have to work with other people, and I've been working for myself for so long, and why would I, I don't want to get into that. But it's like, at the same time, you're looking at like, it will give me that inner peace, and it won't take too much energy, because I won't need to do it like on a full-time basis, but maybe like, 2 full days a week, and then Monday, Tuesday, and the rest of the entire week I have for my projects, and I'm good. Like something like that, for example. Just a little bit extra, just a little bit outside what you're trying to build, in order to have those stepping stones to actually build it. So it doesn't, maybe it's applying to another side, maybe it's applying to something else for you. But it's about thinking outside the box. You might actually find yourself feeling a lot better after you do brainstorm and being open-minded. You might actually find yourself feeling a lot better about certain areas of your life. All right, look at that, the 2 of Cups. Someone loves you, Gemini. Okay, so you might find yourself this month, especially the first half of the month, you might find yourself actually developing some feels that you didn't know were there. And you're like, wait, what's happening to me? Yeah, or someone else might actually discover that they kind of have some feels for you, and it's the last person that you expect to, because that person's always so showing like no interest, or just treating you like their homie or their brother or their sister, and it's like weird, and all of a sudden they're like different, they act different towards you, Gemini. You're like, what is up with you? Why you acting so weird? Why you want to get me coffee and stuff all of a sudden? Like, what's wrong with you? What do you mean coffee? You never get me coffee. What is this all about? Like, what do you want from me? What are you gonna ask me next? Breakfast? Like, lunch? But thank you though. But what? Why? That's the energy I'm feeling. But that's not for all. But it's such a Gemini thing. Let me see. The Moon, the 2 of Cups. Okay, I am sensing that one person might actually be more available than the other person. One person may actually is just getting out of a relationship, and the other person may be already have been, single for like a year and a half, beginning their own pathway and, healing and stuff. And the other person might actually just get out of a relationship and have this connection with someone. We're starting to develop that connection, and it's like it's a little bit different. And the thing is, when you just come out of a relationship, whether it was a long or a short one, it takes time to undo yourself of their energy, because you kind of have to just be in your own energy, and only following yourself in order to become balanced and grounded in your own energy. Because sometimes you may take other people's energy, or the energy you were in their aura, into something new, and it won't fit. So I'm sensing that a little bit. That's just a side note. Okay, let's see what else for my Geminis. Boop, there we go. That's good, that's good, that's real good. So the Page of Cups comes in with the Six of Swords. You see, you might actually get a lot more peace of mind and stuff like that if you approach things from a more light-hearted perspective. Sounds exciting. Let's just try something different. Oh well, you know, it's exciting. It's that other fun twinning you, Gemini, that just doesn't mind that it's not serious instantly and all of that. It's like, you know, we like each other, we get to know each other, and it's all good. Like, let's just do some fun things together. Let's just explore. Let's not put a label on it or tax or, you know, yeah. Let's not sign a contract just yet. Just let us just get into this boat, have some fun, and see where we end up. So the Queen of Pentacles is here. 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups, beautiful. And then we have the Three of Swords. Why is Three of Swords here? Yup. King of Cups. Okay, so I'm sensing that when it comes to that happily ever after and that long-lasting love and connection, because I really want to talk about love for some reason, but you might think yourself out of it, you know? It's like a mindset. Sometimes when we're afraid to really connect, we just focus on the things that, you know, are off, or we just focus on the things that aren't in alignment. And sometimes those are the points where, you know, that can make us grow as individuals and as couples. But I feel that sensing that something in the past, you might have dealt with a person who just kept so much from you. Like, you thought they were one way and they were like not that way at all, you know. And that might actually put some clouds over your beautiful rainbow, and it's still there, but it's cloudy, and it's clouded by maybe, you know, like I said, you're still releasing yourself from that old situation. And so if you take it slow, you might not feel like your self-belief system wants to put things to hold because you haven't worked through the fears yet. So I feel like going with the flow, going easy on the connection and things like that is definitely the way to go, because it won't trigger your this side, you know, too much. It's just fun. It's just, you know, it's romantic. It's like sweet. It's cute. It's you know, all of that. Like, you know, I'm just enjoying myself. It's no pressure. It's fine. And I'm sensing that will definitely put you into motion. But it's also, you go from the Page into the Knight of Cups. But it's not like, when is it going to level up? When is it going to be the next step? When are we officially together? When are we this? When are we that? And for some of you, it's actually reconnecting with someone. You might actually been on a break and you're kind of getting back together. Take it slow. When it comes to if you are already in a serious relationship, if you're married or anything in that way, you have kids or no kids, but you're committed, focus on the things that are just spontaneous and not too heavy this month. If you do that, if you integrate some of that creativity, that romantic energy, that spontaneous energy together, you will know that you will be able to feel so good in your connection this month. Because the moment you put too much pressure and it's too heavy and it's too much thinking involved, and yeah, too much like unanswered questions and things like that, you will find yourself with the Five of Swords. So you kind of will block that flow. Because you got a lot of good flow coming in, Gemini. But it's, like I said, once again, it's you putting yourself in that position in order to receive that, in order to flow with that energy. Okay, what else? You see the Five of Cups. Yeah, it's like you got disappointed about your image wasn't met. So what if you don't have an expectation? Then everything that comes is just good. Okay, so I'm gonna share something and yeah, okay, like, to close that out. Sometimes in life we have people in our lives that we can just, you know, break off. Like, for example, it's like a a family member or something like that, and they just go about things differently than other people do, or we feel like, you know, we would treat someone. And so we have certain expectations, you know, we have expectations. Sometimes it's based on like 50% of what we give, but then, you know, we do feel like, you know, you got to give me that 50%. And it has to do with expectations. So for example, you expect, you know, you call someone and they don't call you back, and then they call you back the next day. It's like, hey, you know, but then you're already sort of in it, like, I called you and you didn't call me back all day, and now here you are next day calling me back. You know, it's like, you could actually be in that energy. You know, of course, you wouldn't wait one day to call back, for example. So you, based on that, what you would do, you know, you kind of feel away. And so the person will call you and it's like, you know, why didn't you call me back? So it's instantly already in a different energy. And of course, you're in your right to do that. But at the same time, if it's a person that's just in your life and that's just the way they go about things, not because they're being disrespectful, but because maybe they're just not capable of keeping up in that way, you know, or they just never really call you, and then all of a sudden they call you because they just want to talk to you. And it's like, well, that's been a long time. Why haven't you called me before? You know, like, why it took you so long for me to call me? Like, you know, am I even that important to you? Like, you know, what are you doing? It's like all of the questions. But the thing is, when you do, they probably won't call you again, you know, because the barrier for the other person becomes higher and higher. And it's not about, I'm saying like, oh, make up an excuse for their behavior. Of course, there are definitely boundaries when it comes to that. But when it's someone that's in your life, for example, your sister or your brother or your cousin or your father or your mother or something like that, and they're in your life, and on the other hand, there's a lot of great qualities about them, but that side of them is just something that you have to accept. And how do you work with acceptation? You know, how do you accept someone for their lack of capability of just being that way? Is by not having any expectations. So you don't expect them to call, and then they do, and then it's nice, and then it's just having a conversation and just having a fun, you know, phone call, and there's no heavy energy, there's no grudges or feeling like you have to kind of sort of protect yourself and all of that. It's about accepting the person for who they are. But if you cannot, then you are in your entire right to say, okay, you know what, I accept you for who you are, but I cannot have someone in my life that treat me in this way, because I just don't want that. I just cannot accept that. And the other things you bring to my life don't weigh out the feeling that I feel when you do these things. But that's your choice. But if you choose to keep them in your life and they already showed you over and over that they're just incapable and they're willing to try and do other things for you, but that is just something that they really lack in, because they just always, you know, just they're not good at that. Are you willing to accept them? Because something gotta give, because they're incapable of changing that thing. And when you're capable of doing that and you do that for them and for yourself, then every time that they do something in that area where they are lacking, is actually something extra, instead of a year you showing up, showing me 25%, but where's the other 75? No, it's like, hey, so nice. I wasn't expecting anything, and now I got 25% bonus, you know. But it has to outweigh something else, okay? I know it's really hard to put it in such a way where not everyone will not get triggered and understand, but it is definitely something to just think about. Just think about. And I'm not saying you have to do that with everybody, and everybody, you just have to accept them completely as they are. But like I said, does it outweigh the other side? And could you bring that in order for your inner peace and for theirs and for the connection? It's just looking at it. It's not, you know, I'm just, you know, giving an example about calling, but, you know, for other people it might be, you know, they're just very messy. And can you accept that or not? Okay, so you make you call the shots this month. You decide what you are attracting in because of your willingness to Page of Cup this month. Just Page of Cups it. It's like, it's a thing, okay? It's like you know what? I'm just gonna in my car. I'm just gonna Page of Cups this, and I'll see where I end up. I'll probably have a nice time. No expectations, just open to receive. All right, Geminis, thank you so much for tuning in to this reading. I hope it brought you some clarity, some guidance, maybe an idea. Okay. I will be back soon. Have a lovely month of April and a great Aries season. Mwah. Bye, Gemini.